Ever wonder why some people seem to stay strong and active well into their golden years, while others struggle with fractures and bone problems? Here's the thing. Your bones are literally getting stronger or weaker right now, depending on how you treat them. Today, I'm sharing 6 research-backed exercises that can help bulletproof your bones. And trust me, the last one is a total game changer that most people completely overlook. But first, let me show you what's actually happening inside your bones. Think of your bones like a living bank account, but instead of money, they're constantly depositing and withdrawing minerals. Pretty cool, right? Every day, your body breaks down old bone tissue and builds new bone in its place. When you're younger, you're making more bone than you're losing. It's like getting a really sweet interest rate on your savings. But here's where things get interesting. Around age 30, that process starts to slow down. And if you're not actively making deposits through the right kinds of exercise and nutrition, you could be losing bone faster than you're building it. That's when conditions like osteoporosis can sneak up on you. But don't worry, I've spent months diving into the latest research from top bone health experts, and I've discovered that certain types of exercise can actually flip this equation in your favor. These aren't just random workouts, they're specific movements that trigger your bones to become denser and stronger. You see, your bones respond to stress, but not just any kind of stress. They need what scientists call mechanical loading. Sounds fancy, but it just means putting the right kind of pressure on your bones. It's like telling your body, hey, we need to build stronger bones here. And your body listens, it really does. Before we jump into these 6 game-changing exercises, I need you to know something important. Whether you're 25 or 75, it's never too early or too late to start strengthening your bones. The key is knowing exactly how to do it right. All right, let's kick things off with what I call the bone-building powerhouse, the weighted squat. Now, before you think, oh no, not squats, let me tell you why this exercise is absolutely incredible for your bones. Research published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research showed that regular weighted squats can increase bone density in your hips and spine by up to 3% in just 6 months. That's huge. Think about it. These are exactly the areas where fractures can be most devastating as we age. Here's what makes weighted squats so special. When you perform them, you're creating compression forces through your spine, hips, and legs. Your bones actually respond to this pressure by building more bone tissue. It's like your body saying, hey, we need to make these supports stronger. The best part, you don't need to lift super heavy to get these benefits. Let me show you exactly how to do this safely and effectively. Start with your feet about shoulder width apart. Imagine you're standing on 2 dinner plates. Hold a dumbbell or weight close to your chest. We call this a goblet hold. Don't worry about going heavy right away. Even a 5-pound weight sends the right signals to your bones. Now, here's the key that most people miss. As you lower down, imagine you're sitting back into a chair that's just slightly too far away. Keep your chest proud, like you're wearing a superhero cape. Your knees should track over your toes, not cave inward. Pro tip, if you're just starting out or have balance concerns, you can absolutely do this next to a sturdy chair or counter for support. Remember, perfect form beats heavy weights every time. For bone health specifically, aim for 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. The magic happens when you challenge yourself with a weight that feels difficult by the last few reps. But never compromise your form. Here's something really cool. Studies show that adding just 10 minutes of weighted squats 3 times a week can significantly improve leg strength and bone density. That's less time than it takes to scroll through social media during a coffee break. And hey, if regular squats feel too challenging right now, I've got you covered. Start with box squats, literally sitting back onto a sturdy chair and standing up. As you get stronger, you can gradually lower the chair height and add weight. Your bones will thank you either way. Remember, consistency beats intensity when it comes to bone building. Your bones adapt gradually, so stick with it even if you don't feel like a superhero right away. Now let's talk about what I like to call controlled bone boosters, heel drops. This exercise might look simple, but don't let that fool you. It's backed by some fascinating research from the University of Michigan that shows how controlled impact exercises can stimulate bone growth in your feet, ankles, and legs. You know how astronauts lose bone density in space? It's because they're not getting any impact from walking or moving around. That's exactly why heel drops are so powerful. They create that perfect amount of controlled impact your bones are craving. Think of it like sending a wake-up call to your bone-building cells. Here's what makes heel drops particularly special. They create what scientists call osteogenic loading. In regular people language, that means they put just enough stress on your bones to trigger them to build more tissue. And the best part? You can do these almost anywhere. No fancy equipment needed. Let me walk you through the perfect heel drop. Start by standing tall near a wall or counter for balance. Safety first. Rise up onto your toes like you're trying to peek over a fence. Now, here's the crucial part. Lower your heels down with control, but let them drop the last tiny bit to create that gentle impact. It's like you're stamping a postage stamp, but with your heels. Here's a really important tip that most people miss. You want to feel the impact, but it should never be uncomfortable. If you have downstairs neighbors, they shouldn't hear you. We're going for controlled, not thunderous. For maximum bone benefits, try this routine. Start with 2 sets of 10 drops. Take a 30-second break between sets. Do this 3 times a week. As you get more comfortable, you can progress by standing on one leg at a time, adding a small step no more than 2 inches high, increasing your sets up to 3. Here's something fascinating. Research shows that these kinds of impact exercises can improve bone density in your lower body by up to 4% over a year. That's like putting money in your bone bank with every drop. A quick word of caution. If you have existing bone concerns or balance issues, start with both feet on the ground and always keep that hand near the wall for support. Remember, we're building stronger bones for the long haul, not trying to win a jumping contest. Let's talk about an exercise that's often overlooked when it comes to bone health. Resistance band rows. And trust me, this one's a game changer, especially for your upper back, shoulders, and arms. Did you know that women can lose up to 40% of their upper body bone mass during their lifetime? That's exactly why this exercise is so crucial. I love using resistance bands for this exercise because they provide something called progressive resistance. Basically, the more you pull, the harder it gets. This is perfect for bone strengthening because it creates that sweet spot of tension that tells your bones, hey, time to get stronger. The best part? A study from the National Institutes of Health found that resistance training like this can actually reverse bone loss in the upper body. We're not just preventing loss here, we're actually building new bone tissue. Let me show you how to do this perfectly. Start by anchoring your resistance band at about chest height. A doorknob or sturdy pole works great. Grab the ends of the band and step back until you feel slight tension. Think about standing proud, like you're about to have your photo taken. Your feet should be about hip-width apart and you're going to have a slight bend in your knees. We're not locking any joints here. Now for the rowing motion, and here's where the magic happens. Pull the band towards your rib cage. Imagine you're trying to squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades. Your elbows should stay close to your body like you're trying to arrow through butter. Hold that squeeze for just a second at the back. That's when your bones are getting the signal to strengthen. Here's your bone-building prescription, 3 sets of 12 to 15 pulls. Take a 60-second break between sets. Do this 2 to 3 times per week. Now, here's a cool trick I learned from a physical therapist. Change your grip position slightly with each set. Sometimes palms up, sometimes palms down. This creates different angles of pull on your arm bones, which is exactly what we want for overall bone strength. For beginners, start with a lighter resistance band. It should feel challenging by rep 10, but not impossible. As you get stronger, and you will, you can either switch to a stronger band or choke up on your current band to increase resistance. And here's something most people don't realize. The slow, controlled release back to the starting position is just as important as the pull. Think about it like slowly lowering a drawer full of china, controlled and careful. This eccentric phase actually creates unique bone strengthening signals. Quick safety note, if you have shoulder issues, start with the band at waist height instead of chest height. You'll still get the bone building benefits, but with less stress on your shoulder joints. Let's move on to an exercise that's absolutely incredible for building bone density where it matters most, weighted hip bridges. Now here's something fascinating. Your hip bones are like the foundation of a house. They take on massive amounts of force every single day, which is why keeping them strong is crucial for your long-term health. Studies from the Mayo Clinic have shown that strengthening the hip area can reduce fall risk by up to 40%. But here's the really exciting part. Weighted hip bridges don't just strengthen your bones, they also power up all those supporting muscles that keep you stable and balanced. Think about this. Every time you climb stairs, get out of a chair, or pick something up from the ground, you're using the exact same muscles and bones that this exercise strengthens. It's like practicing for real life, but with the added bonus of building bone density. Here's how to perform the perfect weighted hip bridge. Start by lying on your back. Imagine you're making a snow angel, but just with your upper body. Bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Place a weight across your hips. You can use a dumbbell, weight plate, or even a heavy book to start. Now, here's the key that most people miss. Before you lift, tighten your core like you're about to get tickled. This protects your back and ensures you're targeting the right areas. Press your feet into the ground like you're trying to push the floor away from you, and lift those hips toward the ceiling. At the top position, you should be able to draw a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Imagine balancing a tray of drinks across your body without spilling them. Hold this position for 2 seconds, really focusing on squeezing those glute muscles. That squeeze is sending powerful signals to your bones to build more density. For optimal bone building, here's your prescription: 3 sets of 12 to 15 bridges. Rest 60 seconds between sets. Perform this exercise 2 to 3 times per week. Here's a pro tip I learned from a bone density specialist. When you're lowering back down, go slow. Take about 3 seconds. This controlled lowering phase creates different types of stress on your bones, which is exactly what we want for maximum bone building. As you get stronger, you can progress by increasing the weight gradually. Holding the top position longer, adding small pulses at the top, trying single leg variations, but only once you've mastered the basic form. And here's something most people don't realize. The position of your feet matters a lot. Keep them about hip width apart, not too close or too far from your bottom. If your hamstrings cramp up, you're probably too close. If your knees hurt, you're probably too far. Remember, we're not just building bone here, we're building confidence in movement. Every bridge you do is an investment in your future mobility and independence. Now we're moving to an exercise that's going to revolutionize how you think about upper body bone strength: wall push-ups with impact. When I first learned about this exercise from researchers at Tufts University, I was amazed by how such a simple movement could have such a profound effect on bone density in your arms, wrists, and upper spine. Here's something that might surprise you. Traditional exercises often miss our wrist bones completely, yet these are some of the most common fracture sites as we age. Wall push-ups with impact specifically target these crucial areas, plus they strengthen your chest, shoulders, and arms all at once. Think about how many times you catch yourself when you stumble or push yourself up from a chair. These are the exact movements we're strengthening. It's like creating a protective shield for your upper body, one push at a time. Let me show you exactly how to do this exercise the right way. Start by standing arm's length from a sturdy wall. Place your hands on the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Imagine you're trying to leave handprints on the wall. That's how firm your grip should be. Your fingers should be spread wide like starfish on the beach. Now here's where the magic happens. Step back just enough so your body is at a slight angle, like a plank of wood leaning against the wall. Keep your body straight from head to heels. Imagine you've got a broomstick along your back and it needs to stay in contact with your head, upper back, and tailbone. For the movement itself, we're going to do what I call the push and tap. Bend your elbows slowly, lowering your chest toward the wall. When you push back out, add a little extra oomph at the end. Just enough to let your hands come off the wall for a split second. It's like you're giving the wall a gentle high five with both hands. Here's your bone strengthening prescription: 3 sets of 10 to 12 push and taps. Take a 45-second break between sets. Do this 3 times per week. Now, here's a crucial tip that changed everything for my clients. The impact shouldn't be harsh. We're looking for a gentle tap, not a slam. Think about the difference between tapping on a door and pounding on it. We want the tap. As you get stronger, you can progress by moving your feet further from the wall, adding more sets, increasing the speed while maintaining control, moving to a lower surface like a sturdy counter. One more game-changing tip: vary your hand positions slightly with each set. Sometimes have them at shoulder height, sometimes slightly lower. This creates different angles of stress on your bones, which is exactly what we want for maximum bone building. Remember, if you feel any wrist discomfort, try this quick fix. Make 2 fists and do the exercise on your knuckles instead of flat palms. This keeps your wrist in a more neutral position while still getting all the bone strengthening benefits. Finally, we've reached what I consider the ultimate game changer in bone health: weighted walking. Now, before you think walking, really? Let me share something fascinating. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that adding weight to your daily walk can increase bone density up to 3 times more effectively than regular walking alone. Here's why this is absolutely revolutionary. Your bones adapt to the loads they carry most often. When our ancestors carried water, gathered food, and moved heavy objects daily, their bones naturally stayed strong. Today, we've engineered most of that natural weight-bearing out of our lives, but we can bring it back strategically with weighted walking. Think about this. Every step you take with added weight sends tiny signals through your entire skeleton. From your feet all the way up to your spine, it's like sending thousands of tiny get stronger messages to your bones with every single step. The best part? You're already walking anyway. We're just supercharging those steps for bone health. Let me show you how to do this correctly and safely. Start with a weighted vest. This is crucial because it distributes weight evenly across your upper body. Don't have a vest? A well-fitted backpack can work too, but make sure it sits high on your back and has both chest and waist straps. Begin with just 5% of your body weight. For a 150-pound person, that's about 7 to 8 pounds. Now, here's the walking technique that most people miss. Stand tall, like there's a string pulling you up from the crown of your head. Take purposeful steps, letting your heels strike the ground first, then roll through to your toes. Imagine you're walking on a narrow balance beam. This engages your core and improves stability. Your bone-building prescription. Start with 10 to 15 minutes of weighted walking. Work up to 30 minutes. Aim for 3 to 4 sessions per week. Here's what makes this exercise truly special. You can combine it with your regular daily activities. Walking the dog, put on your weighted vest, getting the mail, weighted vest, running errands, you guessed it. As you progress, here's how to scale up safely. Add 1 to 2 pounds every 2 to 3 weeks. Gradually increase duration before adding more weight. Mix up your terrain, hills, stairs, different surfaces. Add arm swings for upper body engagement. Now, here's a pro tip from a longevity researcher I worked with. Try to include some direction changes in your walk. Take corners, do figure eights, walk backward for a few steps in a safe area. These movement variations create different stress patterns on your bones, which is excellent for overall bone strength. Remember, consistency trumps intensity. 10 minutes of weighted walking every day beats an hour once a week. And always start your weighted walks on level ground before progressing to hills or stairs. One final game-changing tip: set a regular walking time, like right after breakfast or during your lunch break. Research shows that people who schedule their bone-strengthening exercises like appointments are 80% more likely to stick with them long-term. Since you've stayed with me this far, I want to share something special. A complete bone-strengthening workout plan that combines all these exercises for maximum results. Think of this as your bone health blueprint, carefully designed to give you the best results while fitting into your busy life. Here's your weekly game plan. Monday, lower body focus. Start with 5 minutes of dynamic stretching. Weighted squats, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Heel drops, 2 sets of 10 per leg. Finish with 15 minutes of weighted walking. Remember to rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets, focusing on perfect form. Wednesday, upper body focus. Begin with arm circles and shoulder rolls, wall push-ups with impact, 3 sets of 10. Resistance band rows, 3 sets of 12 to 15. Add 15 minutes of weighted walking. Keep your movements controlled and deliberate. Friday, full body integration. Start with total body warm-up. Hip bridges with weight, 3 sets of 12. Alternate between squats and rows. Finish with 20 minutes of weighted walking. This is your power day. Embrace it. Now, here's what makes this program truly special. It's completely adaptable. Listen to your body and adjust accordingly. Starting too intense too soon is like trying to build a house starting with the roof. It just doesn't work. A few game-changing tips for success: track your progress in a simple journal or phone app. Nothing fancy, just note the weights, reps, and how you feel. Your future self will thank you for this data. Nutrition matters more than you might think. Your bones need the building blocks to get stronger. Aim for calcium-rich foods throughout the day, and remember that vitamin D is crucial for calcium absorption. Think of it like having both the bricks, calcium, and the workers, vitamin D, to build your bone strength. Most importantly, remember this: every single exercise you do is like making a deposit in your bone bank. Small, consistent deposits add up to significant gains over time. You're not just building stronger bones, you're investing in your future independence and quality of life. Before we wrap up, I need to mention something crucial. While these exercises are generally safe for most people, It's always wise to check with your healthcare provider before starting any new exercise program, especially if you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, or other health concerns. If you found this information helpful, remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more evidence-based health and fitness content. Drop a comment below letting me know which exercise you're most excited to try. I read every comment and love hearing about your journey to stronger bones and better health. Stay strong, stay consistent, and remember, your bones are constantly rebuilding themselves. Every day is an opportunity to make them stronger. See you in the next video.